Good evening, everybody. What it do? What it do? Glad to have you here tonight on the show. I am joined tonight by my brothers, my partners in crimes. I got J3. Say what's up to the people, J3.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And then we also are joined tonight by my other brother and partner in crime, J Wheels. Say what's up, J Wheels.
What's going on, people? Excited to be here. Excited for this show. Let's go.
Let's go. And then we want to give a special shout out to Sense. He won't be joining us tonight, but we with you, brother, as we know you're with us. So just tune in tonight and let me give the official line so we can make Big Reg real happy. So good evening and welcome to the Positions on Sports talk show. Posts live streaming on Facebook Live and our Positions on Sports talk show YouTube channel. Also check us out on Twitch. We are a sports show made for the fans from the perspective of the fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports. This is our Power Play Fantasy Football Show. Every Thursday night at 7:30, we will discuss all the news from around the world of fantasy football. We highlight the most popular trades, players, injury reports, starters, bench warmers, and of course, the honors, the top dogs, sleepers, quick hitters, quiet storm, and closers. So we're going to get started with you tonight, and we're going to kick things off with Brother Jay Wills with the fantasy injury report.
Like my man Sense would say, yes, 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 yes. We definitely gonna kick it off with these injury news. First off, Zach Ertz. His ankle, he did have initially an ankle injury, but he's back at practice. He did practice yesterday and today. Jimmy Smith misses practice. This is the star cornerback, Jimmy Smith, for the Baltimore Ravens. He will not be playing. So if you happen to have any individuals on the Tennessee Titans, whether it's A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, or Ryan Tannehill, you might want to throw those guys in because
A.J. Brown?
The secondary for Baltimore will be missing its top cornerback. Calais Campbell, he missed practice Wednesday for the defense for the Baltimore Ravens. So they had some issues. And you can definitely possibly take advantage of those guys. So that's a major piece off the defensive line, as well as a gentleman out the secondary. So if you got the Tennessee Titans, so if you have any of those players, you might want to throw them in a rotation. Christian McCaffrey, shoulders, not expected to play in Sunday's Week 11 contest against the Lions. Drew Brees will be out at least another 2 weeks after additional testing. Definitely want to keep him in prayer. It was a crazy situation or whatnot with the lung and the with the lung and chest injury. So
from Tyrod Taylor at the beginning of the season to Drew Brees, isn't that crazy? Them collapsed lungs and stuff.
Exactly. It just lets you know how physical this game is, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, one of them was his doctor getting physical with him, right?
I forgot about Tyrod, right? Wait a minute. He was in the operating room.
Right.
Pierced his lung. Corey Peters a knee out for the remainder of the season. If you know Corey Peters, he is done for the year. I'll definitely feel for you.
Ouch.
Jermichael Hasty, collarbone, placed on injured reserve, as well as Allen Robinson. He's officially active for Monday Night Football. So he's not on injured reserve. He's officially active for Monday Night Football against the Vikings. This may catch a few people off guard, but they're saying that Andy Dalton is ready to play. He practiced it. Don't laugh too hard, Jeffrey.
How about them?
Andy Dalton is suiting back up. Professionalism. He's going to step out on the field and be ready to play. Unprofessionalism. They're going to lose. It doesn't matter if he's in the lineup or not. Andy Dalton, you can't get the job done. That's just my personal hate. Clyde Edwards.
Well, he certainly shouldn't be starting for nobody's fantasy football team.
That man got 16.3 points by his name. Nobody has time for that. Anyway. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He missed Thursday practice. T. Higgins missed Thursday's practice. Devontae Adams, he's officially been listed on the do not play list. So you might want to keep an eye on that. I don't know exactly what's going on with that situation, but it's not necessarily positive good news. Alvin Kamara, foot injury, but he playing. Well, actually, he was not spotted at Thursday's practice.
He'll be playing Sunday.
He'll be on the field, trust.
Right.
He better be, right, J3? He better
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Calvin Ridley, his foot injury is not progressing as quickly as anticipated. Deandre Swift, he also did not play this concussion. He won't be playing.
This the one that caught me off guard. When did he get that concussion? Because he played well in that game against the football team, and I didn't see any indications that he got a concussion.
I'm wondering if he was showing symptoms after he went back into the locker room. He may have, tried to play it off of doctors and whatnot. The player personnel didn't recognize it initially. But clearly something went down, and the man has a concussion. Yeah, because I had him ready to be on the honors this week, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, when did that happen? But I got you. I am a personal owner of DeAndre Swift, so this concerns me as well. I shed a tear.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Teddy Bridgewater, unlikely to play in Week 11.
Yeah, rest.
Drew Lock, ribs, but he did return to practice Thursday.
He needed rest too.
That is your injury news for now. If anything comes breaking within the next couple of days,
literally, right?
Right, literally. We'll start listening to it on the Post website. So check back on the YouTube and the Facebook because we want to update you with more information in real time and interact with the individuals that take their time out to watch the show. Thank you all very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Jay Wills. I got to circle back to J3 because you read off Zach Ertz first. I want to know how he feeling over there about Mr. Zach Ertz.
Man, I already traded that bum, man. I'm like, I can't deal with him. He ain't getting me no points. You got to go. Got to go.
You heard it here first. He already got rid of Zach Ertz.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. Bing, bing, bing.
Right, and I'm not mad at you because had he not been hurt, he would have been on the trading block, and then who knows who would have picked him up and what offense he might have been in. So we probably wouldn't have seen him perform up to his caliber anyway this year. So who knows? But all right. All right, moving right along. We got the honors of the week, and I want to tantalize you guys with some great players that should get you some great fantasy points this week. So whether you put them in or if you have them, use them. If you need to trade for them and try to pull them away from somebody, do what you got to do. So we starting off with the top honors, which are the top dogs for this week. So, of course, I'm not worried about his foot. I got Alvin Kamara back at the top of the list. Alvin Kamara is a gamer, just in case you don't know. Back in the day, we had that video game called Game Breakers, and he is definitely one of them. So he's been compared to the likes of Marshall Faulk, and it was hard to keep Marshall Faulk off the field and out of the end zone, and this man loves the end zone. So definitely you can expect him to rack up the points again this week. He is more than a safety valve. He is that dude on that team. Since Mike Thomas has been missing in action lately, he's been carrying the Saints, and you got to give him his props for it. And in fact, I mean, we got to give him kudos. I think Alvin Kamara has made the top honors the most out of any player this year on our list, and he has delivered. Am I right, J3?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad he's on my squad.
Amen. And the next guy that's been delivering a lot of fantasy fan lore is Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, he that man.
Because you know who they playing this week? They playing the Vikings. I mean the Cowboys. The Cowboys. So,
Andy Dalton.
So that Cowboys defense, really, I hate to use the Q word, but the Cowboys defense to me looks like they've quit. It's more than halfway through the season. They playing a bruising running back. You know Captain Kirk going to try to hit Jefferson and Thielen. I mean, the Cowboys might get boat raced this weekend. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Ooh.
You heard it now. You hear it now. If you got that defense, drop them. Don't just put them on the bench. Get rid of that defense. Pick up another one. So Dalvin Cook should get you wonderful top dog honors this week. And then, of course, we got the human joystick, the video game stick, whatever you want to call them, virtual reality. I'm talking about none other than Kyler Murray. They are playing the Seahawks this week, and if you haven't noticed, the Legion of Boom is no more. I don't even know if you call them. Matter of fact, you might call that defense now the Legion of Doom because they can't stop nobody all of a sudden. You got Russ out there throwing 3 picks a game, and you can't stop nobody. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but Kyler Murray is going to rack it up this week. They will not have an answer for this dude. Man, he just came off of a Hail Murray. It's not even called a Hail Mary anymore. It's called a Hail Murray. So you notice that man going to keep rising. His stock is going to keep rising. So we got the sleepers for the week. And it's so sad, but at least he made an honors this week. I got Russell Wilson here first. I know. He's been cooking, but he hadn't been doing much in the kitchen lately, but throwing picks, all right? But he's a sleeper this week because I expect him to get the ship right. I expect him to make sure they are competitive. He's going to bring the turnovers way down. So look for him to start cooking again, but it's going to be a slow cook because they are playing an electrifying guy in this offense with Fitzgerald, and you got that all-world, all-pro who just dunked on 3 dudes from Buffalo last week. So look out for Mr. Hopkins to show up as well. Then we got Antonio Gibson. Big Reg, this is for you. Antonio Gibson from the football team will show up this week, and he'll show out. I know he split some time up with McKissick, but I think this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, their defense really isn't formidable, and he's the kind of guy that can catch and run, with the line trying to gel together and look a little decent. I mean, Alex Smith didn't take too many shots last week. So maybe, just maybe, Antonio Gibson will get you what you need this weekend. And then the guy that I mentioned on the show on Tuesday night, and I got him on my team, Salvon Ahmed, running back, Dolphins. He should get at least 20 touches against the Broncos. And the Broncos are giving up the second most fantasy yards to running backs in the last 4 weeks. So this young man has been running his tail off the last 2 weeks. So with this Broncos defense giving up the second most yards to fantasy running backs, I expect him to have a 3rd straight game.
He runs hard too.
Yeah.
He runs real hard.
Where did this dude come from? Right.
Man.
Tua glad to have him back there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the quick hits. So, of course, love to Miles Sanders, running back Eagles. They're playing the Browns. So, of course, he should be fed a lot this week. He should get that rock, and he should tote it a lot. Look for Boston Scott to get some duty as well. Boston Scott reeled off like a 56-yarder last week. So the Eagles got some nice choices in the backfield. But Miles Sanders will carry the bulk of the workload, and he'll get you what you need quick, fast, in a hurry. For the same reason, I got to say Nick Chubb on the other side. The Eagles defense is not what it used to be, and they've been marred with a lot of injuries as well. And if y'all saw Nick Chubb come back last week, the way he was playing, I don't think he's gonna get that top spot up again. I'm sorry, J3. I know you got the guy Hunt, on your team, but I think Nick Chubb, if barring any injury, he's gonna keep that top spot, and you'll see him get spotty work, Mr. Hunt.
Don't sleep on them because they might just use both of them at the same time. They have done it.
They could.
Yeah.
But what I've seen is that Chubb gets a little bit of an attitude if it gets near 50-50, and they talked about that before he got hurt. They even showed him on the sidelines having a little temper tantrum because Kareem Hunt was in too many plays. So they talk about his attitude and how they call it he being hungry, but he don't really want to share that rock. So, but if Kareem Hunt is willing and dealing, it's hard to take him out and lessen his carry. So we shall see.
Oh, no doubt.
And the next one, that's a quick hit, is Justin Jefferson. Man, that young man is doing it. Because again, who they playing? The Cowboys. So I expect him to be very efficient, and he's going to eat up that secondary because they just lost the Alabama boy for a little while. So I think he'll do his just due out there this weekend. All right, quiet storm. Here's another running back that's popping up in the last couple of weeks. Kalen Ballage, running back, Chargers. They're playing the Jets. Same scenario with the Cowboys, right? And for Ballage, this is a revenge game because the Jets actually gave up on him, and that's how he ended up in San Diego. LA. So now he's looking to take that rock and shove it right down their throat. So look for him to do his thing. It's going to be quiet, but it's going to be bubbling up. That's why it's a quiet storm. And then, of course, Michael Thomas, wide receiver Saints. They're playing the Falcons. They don't have that many world beaters in their secondary. They got a couple, but who has been able to stop this dude when he is at his top of his game? You know, there's so much talk about Mike ain't right, but I think he can get back in the saddle this week, and Jameis knows where his bread is buttered. So I think he's going to start launching that joint. Man, don't forget, he might be Mr. 30 for 30, but he did throw for 5,000 yards last year. So the brother can throw the rock. And yes, I think Sean Payton going to have him bring them interceptions down, something Arians couldn't do. Well, that's really an indictment on Byron Leach. I don't go at the brother because I love him. He's from this area. But there's something that wasn't there that I think he can get in New Orleans that'll keep the interceptions down, but he can still sling that rock. And then, y'all going to love this one. Quiet storm. We ended it out with Taysom Hill. And I call him the all-purpose back. He's not a quarterback. He's not a running back. He's not a tight end. He is what Joe Gibbs created here in Washington. It's called the H-back. Look it up. Joe Gibbs is an innovator. That's why he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion coach. Wish he would come back, and he's in the Hall of Fame. But he invented the H-back. That means he can get under center, he can go out wide, he can be at the tight end, and he can be at the backfield. Taysom Hill going to rack up some points the rest of this year. He has earned at least double-digit points, like 16 to 18 points every time he gets on the field. Now, think about that. That's in limited time, but he is an electrifying player. So if you have him, put him in there. All right?
Yes, sir.
Closers. Patrick Mahomes. Don't need to say nothing there. I think it's a rivalry game, and I think they need some get back because the Raiders upset them in Arrowhead the first time. So I think he is going to go crazy. Ben Roethlisberger, they're playing the Jaguars. And Big Ben has been doing wonderfully this year. It's been ugly, but he's getting it done because he has 3 dynamic wide receivers. So I expect him to keep going. And then, here we go, Cam Newton. Because they playing the Texans. Now, as long as they can double J.J. Watt and he can move out the pocket, I mean, he should be able to wheel and deal because he has some guys on offense that are starting to gel. Yes, Cam is like Ben. It's been relatively ugly, but when he gets rolling, he's hard to stop. Now think about it. If he hadn't fumbled a couple of weeks ago, they would have beaten Buffalo, and this would be a whole different conversation. But I think as he gets farther and farther away from COVID, he gets more back in tune to what he was doing the first 3 weeks of the season. So I'm looking forward to it. And J3 gave you one trade already. I'm going to give you one more. Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, Seahawks. I know he had a monster game about 3 weeks ago, but that is why you should consider his trade value because DK Metcalf is the bee's knees. He is the number one. He is the monster.
Feed him.
Tyler Lockett to get you something that you want, especially if you got a quarterback that went down. You might need to get something back, in return for that. So just think about it. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying. All right. So now we get to the time where we got the sensible pick. And tonight we got J3 that's going to do the honors for us and let us know who we should start and who we should sit.
Yay. What's up? Let's go with the first show starts. First off, we got Brandon Cooks versus Cleveland. Cooks has been targeted at least 9 times in his last 4 games, facing the Pats in the revenge game. Should be interesting. Kyler Murray versus the Seahawks. Human joystick. Need I say more? Justin Herbert versus the Jets. He may not win, but he will get you the points. So keep that in mind. Alex Smith against Cincinnati. That's going to be a toss-up game, but Alex Smith is the vet, so you might want to go with him.
Yeah, let's park here for a second real quick, J3.
Okay.
Alex Smith did something he never did in his career, y'all. Coming off of that horrific injury, he has passed for back-to-back 300-yard games. Yeah, they've been in losses, but that's something that he's never done in his career. This guy is poised, y'all, and I like what he's doing with the young wide receivers that the football team has. And against Cincinnati, I expect him to go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow. So we might actually see a relatively high-scoring game here. And I actually think the football team is going to pull this one out.
That's a good call.
I'm going to stay optimistic, and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to leave it like that.
Because you said the football team.
Right. All right, next up we got Tua Tagovailoa versus Denver. That should be an easy win because Tua's been throwing the ball down the field. So y'all better watch out for Tua. Next we got Josh Jacobs versus the Chiefs. He can run hard, and the Chiefs' run defense is kind of suspect. So he just might get you some points right there. Next we got
that run defense used to be stout.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like some of these other teams, they had defenses, and like you said, they just disappeared. I can't answer it. All right, next up we got James Conner versus the Jaguars. That should be an easy win for James because he runs hard, and the Jaguars' defense ain't all that good.
Right.
Next up we got Austin Hooper versus the Eagles. The Eagles, again, we talked about their defense. They still a little suspect, so Austin should get his man. Next up, we got Hunter Henry versus the Jets. I don't even need to speak on that. Yeah. Next up, we got Rex Burkhead versus the Texans. Yeah, Iron Man is a strong runner. He goes hard, and he don't stop for nobody, so you definitely want to pick him up. Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus the Raiders. This should be a battle right here, so we'll see what happens. I'm not even going to predict this one because it's going to be too close to see.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got the Bucs defense and then the Steelers defense. You definitely want to pick them up.
Can't go wrong. Yeah.
No, not at all. Next up, we got the son, sit them on down. First up, we got Todd Gurley against the Saints. I don't know. That's kind of hard because Todd Gurley been balling for the last couple of games. So
yeah, but have you noticed how the Saints defense has been stiffening up lately, though?
Well, remains to be seen.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
Okay.
Next up, we got Darrell Henderson versus the Bucs.
It's too many running backs in Los Angeles. That's the problem. Nobody can get into a rhythm.
Okay. Next up, we got Ezekiel Elliott versus the Vikings.
Hilarious.
Let's see if he hold the ball. All right. Next up, we got J.K. Dobbins versus Tennessee. That should be a real good one because Dobbins can pound the rock.
Facts.
Yeah, but with your man back in the lineup, he gonna want his carries back. That's why I say sit up this week because he not Edwards-Helaire. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but he's still effective, and I agree with you. Ingram definitely gonna want the ball because that's what he do. So it's gonna be worth seeing. All right, next we got Jerry Jeudy versus the Dolphins.
That's
no comment.
The quarterback can't get him the ball. I mean, it's Drew Lock. He can't do it.
Yeah, and then lastly we got T.Y. Hilton versus the Packers.
Super disappointment.
Yeah, because I traded him the second week. I'm like, yeah, you ain't giving me no points. Got to go.
I saw that.
And those are the picks for this week. Choose sensibly. Back to you, Pro.
He must be trying to get traded. Because how does a wide receiver that's been so dynamic, been top 10, top 5 at some points in his career, now all of a sudden he on a milk carton? I don't understand that.
I think it has a lot to do with the quarterback. I really do. I think it has a lot to do with the quarterback, and you know who their quarterback is. Need I say more?
That's very similar to AJ Green's story. Yeah. Him and Burrow just can't get a rhythm. He's on the field. He's had a few targets, but sometimes the ball is off. But for whatever reason, he cannot get on board with AJ Green, and that's crazy.
Speaking of living in your quarterback's house, T.Y. need to go knock on Luck's door and beg him to come. Come on, man. I'll wash your car, whatever you need.
I'm serious, because, dude, I was like hurt. I'm like, first 2 weeks, and I'm like, I ain't even getting 5 points from you? Really? Yeah, you got to go, son.
If Brock can come back, you can come back.
Crazy.
Hey.
All right, fellas, we did our due diligence. Let us hit our last segment called Who You Got? So we got the Arizona Cardinals tonight versus the Seattle Seahawks. Who y'all think is going to be the victor tonight? And while you're answering, tell us who your top performers are, whether you got them on your team or they're on your opponent's team in your matchup. What y'all got tonight?
I'm going to go with... I just think Kyler's hot right now. I think Arizona's hot right now. They got the right mojo going inside the locker room. Winning brings about a positive outlook and attitude. Seahawks are going through some things right now. Though they are battle-tested, and I would never put it past Russell Wilson, my mind is...
Oh, he was rolling too. Oh, man.
Ouch.
Go ahead and pick up for him, J3.
Man, that's terrible. But let me go ahead and say, yeah, I'm rolling. I'm still gonna roll with Seattle, because I know my man Russell gonna do his thing. He definitely gonna get some get back, because he looked at film last week. He saw those two interceptions that he forced that he shouldn't have, especially when he could have ran. So yeah, I don't see him making those mistakes again. And as long as the defense can give him a little help, I think he can go ahead and take it to the victory lane.
Okay. I think Russ will have a much better game this week. I think this is going to be a dogfight, but I kind of feel like Arizona, like you guys feel about Miami, where they're serving notice to that division that they're not going to be the punching bags or the stepchildren anymore, and they coming for that blood. So I think that Arizona ekes out a close one because of the play of Kyler Murray. And I think that Russ has a much better game, but I just think in the end, it's going to be just a little bit too much Kyler Murray, and he's going to pull off a last drive victory for them tonight.
If he does it again, that defense should be shot, broken up, and shouldn't hit the field no more, because there was no way you got 3 defenders on one individual, and y'all let him catch that ball. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And you already know his talent. You know his talent.
Yeah. And I'm concerned because I like Ken Norton Jr., man, as a defensive coordinator. And, Pete Carroll's supposed to be a defensive head coach. And to see them going through this, it's tough to watch. But I don't want that the job, man.
It's funky. Their defense is terrible. Yeah. I mean, terrible. They can't stop the run. Somebody go downfield, they hold it so they won't get burnt. I mean, come on, man. Where your defense at?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but we a long ways away from the Legion of Boom. Yeah. All right, folks, we carried you to the top of the hour. We certainly hope that you enjoyed the fantasy show tonight. Make your deals, your trades, everything that you need to get ready. If you got players playing, I think if you haven't done it already, I think at 8:00 they'll cut you off. So do it now. You got like 60 seconds. But enjoy the game tonight, and we will see you guys next week. Be safe out there.
See ya.